This week's episode is brought to you by Derek Gerard Photography. Derek has been a professional for over 20 years and covers everything from weddings, corporate shoots, meet and greets and VIP events. He was also one of the club photographers at Dundee Football Club for 13 years. Derek will travel all over Scotland and beyond to capture your smiles, and as a wee thank you to listeners of this show, he'll give you a 20% discount when booking. All you have to do is get in touch via his Facebook page, Derek Gerard Photography, and mention the code CF26. Now, this could save you something like £300 from the cost of your wedding photography, for example. He's a great guy. He's photographed some of my shows in the past, some of the events I've done. I've met the guy. He's a legitimately brilliant photographer and a lovely gentleman, and we thank him very much for sponsoring the show. Thank you. Big news, fellow gardeners, concerning our live podcast recording show on Wednesday the 20th of May at the Stand Comedy Club in Glasgow. Our guests have been confirmed. Delighted to say we have up-and-coming comic Eva Peroni, who is absolutely sensational, comedian, writer, performer, viral sensation Paul Black, and our first returning guest in the legendary Tom Stade. It's going to be an incredible night. Please come along if you can. Bring your own little dead flower stories. We'll discuss some of them from the stage with our guests. Wednesday, the 20th of May. It's going to be great. Stop watering dead flowers. I'm delighted to say this week in the garden, as we like to say, we have the multi-talented and legendary, comic, actor, writer, performer, podcaster as well. The legendary Michael Redmond. How are you, Michael?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Excited to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure.
And there's something very nice about seeing you in the Stand Comedy Club again, in the newer building.
Yeah, I haven't been here before. Now it's the first time.
Yeah, because you were very much part of the fabric of the Stand Comedy Club, where it had the weekly show on the Sunday, and just, don't want to blow too much smoke up your arse, but certainly one of the most
Please do.
respected and kind of revered comics. Everyone was always excited. I was just saying, when you got to play your show on a Sunday, it was a big deal. What are your fondest memories if we just take a wee detour of playing like the old venue, and you were just saying there that you hosted that night for
20 years.
20 years.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah, I thought it would probably go for a few years.
Aye.
It just went on and on. It was just I think I was saying to you, because it was a Sunday night, it was a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
Than a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Night. So you could kind of muck, and I like kind of mucking around, because I've been doing it for so long. You get fed up just doing material, So I like to. It wasn't so much crowd work, but just kind of just doing some ridiculous things with the audience, or if something happened or that kind of thing.
Yeah. We were reminiscing, and Scott, the manager here as well, about just you'd be taking people in the audience's hat or clothes, you'd be downing people's drinks, rugby tackling women on stage, and you never knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I think I got away because I'm older, sort of. So he's just a bit mad. So just let him go. I think if I was younger, they probably would tell me to piss off. Well, yeah, you mentioned the rugby tackling. I can't remember what the setup was. I think it was something to do with, that small talk if you're chatting up a woman. And I said, better off just to rugby tackle her and break the ice. Yeah. So I would guess someone went up on stage and pretend so we were in some social situation, and ask her to walk by me and then rugby tackle her. But there's one Ukrainian woman one night, and she's really up for it, but she's walking much faster than most people do, and I just rugby tackled her. Her head went right against the table at the side of the stage, and there was actually blood coming from her forehead. Fortunately, she took it in good faith, but it could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. We'll file that under the things
now.
That
wasn't one of the ones I was going to talk about, but it probably was something if she died, it would have been one of the ones.
Yeah. It sounds like a classic thing of, it feels like more and more now people say, oh, you couldn't do that these days, but you probably couldn't get away with rugby tackling people these days, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, I'm surprised after that, that I didn't get a ring from Tommy at the stand saying you have to stop rugby tackling people, because we could be for a serious court case, But I think most people just took it as a good laugh.
Oh, it was great. And before we delve into the kind of format of the podcast, the other thing that I wanted to mention, because I actually texted you not that long ago when I was excited to see you pop up in something, when, starting out in comedy, one of the reasons, not the only one, but one of the reasons it was exciting to meet you was because people knew you as well as Father Stone. And
Yeah.
But now, and then recently I was watching How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. And then you popped up in that again. It was like, you're everywhere, always, all at once, even when I don't know what you're up to.
That just came totally out of the blue.
Yeah.
It was very strange. Just got this an email from some casting agency in Northern Ireland saying, Lisa McGee is going to be filming a new thing. Would you be interested in a part? So would you be free at these times? And I thought, I have to go for an audition,
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anything for a few weeks, and then I said, is this still going on? She said, yeah, sorry, we just haven't had, it's just been a few technical glitches. And I said, so when do you want me to read for the part? And then I didn't hear anything again for another few weeks, and they just said, are you free for this, and this?
Oh, really?
I didn't have to audition.
It's the dream.
Couldn't believe it,
It's because you're iconic.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to be as me, kind of like that was kind of,
right.
Because I wasn't actually, well, I was acting up to a point, but I'm not a kind of an actor, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. There was a scene when you had to rugby tackle that person.
Yes, yeah.
But that was a great show. So
it was amazing. It just out of the blue. I mean, I don't sort of tout for acting jobs, so it was great.
Yeah.
So hopefully there'll be a second series.
I'm the opposite. I'm really chasing them and I can't get any. So
maybe I should start. But it was great.
Aye. Now, in terms of this podcast, once you kind of found out what it was about and kind of got a bit of details, what was your initial reaction? Because it feels like people are either in one camp or the other. One set of people are always like, I've got loads of these things, I can't sleep at night. And others are like, I'm kind of water off a duck's back, I don't hold on to stuff.
Probably in the middle, I think. Certainly not water off a duck's back, no.
Yeah.
I haven't got millions of things, but certainly has been things that do occasionally keep me awake at night. not, I think as you get older, you probably don't bother about it as much, but certainly in my younger days, certainly I would.
Yeah.
There were things I was sort of, just not so much keeping awake at night, but just be walking along the street in a good mood, and then suddenly it comes into your head and screws your whole day up.
Yeah, that's so annoying. But yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to investigate in this one.
Yeah.
So we'll start, if it's all right with your first one, the childhood one, if possible. Yeah. What was the one that might have jumped out for you?
I suppose I had a very sort of happy childhood, but it wasn't sort of any angst at home or anything like that. But I suppose the thing that I can think back of is that I nearly poisoned a kid on the street with alcohol.
Wow.
It wasn't. It sounds malicious. Well, it wasn't in a way. It was. It was kind of, we lived in this kind of residential area, like sort of Mulgai, and everybody knew each other and played around the area. There was one new family moved in, and we were only I was about 10 or 11, I think.
Yeah.
But for some, he insulted somebody. I can't remember what happened. It was so long ago, but we decided we didn't like him anyway. And the guy who lived next door to me, he was a bit older. He was kind of more the ringleader of the group.
Right.
But I remember we had a sort of a free house one afternoon because my mother had gone out shopping or something, and we came into the house and we decided to get him pissed. We didn't actually want to poison him, but we just thought we'd get him pissed because he was getting on our tits and he was just annoying. My father had quite a big drinks cabinet.
Right.
And it was usually locked, but the older guy lived next door. He sort of found the key over the top. So we went up, and I think there was about 9 or 10 other kids there, but we didn't give them alcohol. We just gave him.
Right.
We just put some whiskey and we added some ginger ale and lemonade or something like that to kind of so he wouldn't notice the taste.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We must have given him a triple whiskey or something like that, because it took a few minutes and then he started giggling and then he started hiccuping hysterically.
Oh wow!
And that's when you start thinking, oh, "Fuck, gone too far here." You know? And then he kind of, after a while, he just sort of sat back and he didn't actually have a fit, but he kind of, his eyes were kind of rolling.
Oh, really?
And I was really hard thinking, oh, fuck, if we could have fucking killed him. And all the other kids, they pissed off. They were like, fuck.
Yeah.
So the ringleader guy went next door to his mother and got her in, and she sort of called the victim's mother. And then I think all the other kids had gone home. They told their mothers, and afterwards there was about 10 mothers in the house.
I bet.
And then my mother came back and saw this fucking thing. They had to carry him away in the end, but I mean, it's one of those things that we could have fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Because you're just an idiot at that age. You don't think.
No.
You're thinking a 10-year-old a triple whiskey is going to kill him.
Yeah, a bit of a laugh, but.
It was.
Wow. And did you see him, afterwards?
I
And
don't think he put around as much after that. But it's just scary thinking back that it could have killed him.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
he was only, we were only 10 when you wouldn't, I don't know whether he would have been, he probably wouldn't have been into Borstal or something other if manslaughter
yeah.
or something.
Wow. Were you in touch with any of the other folk that would conspire to do this? Did it come up in years to
it
come?
was only the kind of, the others didn't know.
Oh, really? Aye.
They just thought he was having some kind of a fit and they just kind of freaked out and went home. But we knew
Yeah.
that we'd given him, I don't know, I think it was probably a triple, you don't know what measurements of that.
I know.
We just sort of poured it in a pint glass and put in lots of ginger ale and lemonade and all that. It was amazing that the mother didn't sort of,
Yeah.
call social
Want to
services.
press charges or yeah.
I think I don't remember anything happening afterwards, but he was taken away and presumably he was okay. I mean,
You've never seen him again.
Well, I saw him afterwards, but I remember his name was Ian. That's all. I can't remember what his.
Right.
But it was, the kids can be vicious.
Oh yeah. And unintentionally vicious, I guess, as well.
I don't know what he did to upset us, but it was something that we decided he needs to be got at.
And you wouldn't have thought it would have that bad an effect
No,
on
it's
someone.
just getting playful, just getting pissed and see.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious. Yeah.
See, people think like TikTok bullies are bad, but actually, before TikTok and social media, there was people getting spiked with whiskey instead.
10-year-olds getting spiked. Yeah. I
You
mean,
might have just sent them a mean comment nowadays, but
looking back at it, it wasn't. It sounds malicious, but it wasn't kind of meant. It was just kind of like you teach him a lesson, get him. He'd probably get sick or something.
Yes, aye.
And but
It's like the equivalent of carry with pig's blood coming down, but with whiskey.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'm glad he's all right.
Well, I presume he is. I don't know.
He would have had a.
He definitely didn't die. I mean, he was around. He definitely was around afterwards, but he didn't.
We're really pushing this narrative now. He definitely didn't die.
No, just in case anybody.
He's okay.
In case Ian is listening, or his mother's listening.
But I guess ultimately as well, the good thing is that's why you're sharing the story. There's a regret there that happened.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Whereas some people might just be like, yeah, remember we did that to the kid, and
No, I felt dreadful. I mean, it was that thing when his eyes started rolling, that palpitation. Fuck, what have we done?
Yeah. I'll have to try and get him on next week. You wonder if it's a story he tells,
It probably does, yeah. But I know that after that, because I think when I was about 16 or 17, I was looking for the key for the drinks cabinet. And I couldn't find it anymore, so it obviously been put away somewhere.
Yeah, people must have just got away with so much as well, much more. When you say like parents nowadays, you'd be had a big story.
For leaving a 10-year-old in the house with drinks cabinets, probably, they would have been held up for social services, yeah. They would now, yeah.
Wow. Maybe it was the type of whiskey. Maybe it wasn't a good one.
I think it was probably Jameson's. My father liked his Jameson's.
Wow, it's a strong start, that one, I would say. I feel like I don't know. Hopefully, there's no more victims involved.
Well, there is a slight unintended victim, but not really.
Yeah,
not in the same way. It wasn't intended.
No, it is mad when you think at childhood age you don't really know the implications of your actions as well. Even just something you say can stick with someone for years as well.
Yeah, it's like the Lord of the Flies thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kids are weird.
I went to school with a guy, still a pal of mine, and he did something. It was just out of the year, a couple of years ago. He went through a big medical thing where he had to get a stent and then a heart valve replaced, and he was a pretty young guy to get it done. And I think it made him kind of have a bit of a rethink about life and stuff.
I'm sure it would.
He did one of these things that you kind of hear about in films and TV shows. He wasn't a bully, but he was a big personality at school, and he would be the first to maybe tease people, certainly. But he went on a mission of like finding people on social media or finding people's emails, and like anyone that he felt like he might have wronged in any way, he like emailed them, wrote them letters.
Really?
Was like, I was pretty immature at school, and I just remember I might have called you this name once, and I didn't mean anything by it. And so it's amazing it's affected probably both the people, the person that's done it and the person that's been affected. So
you should have become a Catholic and just confessed it to a priest and save all the emails.
Right, let's move away from these
people.
vicious childhoods. Where would you like to go next? Would you like to do a career one or relationship or any other topic?
Well, I do. It was kind of a relationship. Yeah, I suppose I'll do that. I can't remember what age. Probably about 17 or 18. I think it was a second. It was a second date, and those are you kind of used to just always. You always went to the cinema because it was,
Right.
you know, you lived at home, so it was the only you could
Aye.
sort of be alone with a woman. As well.
Yeah.
Not to shock her, it was kind of a place you went to. If you were going on a date, you went to the cinema. I've no recollection what the film was, but I remember at one point I went up to go to the loo, and I just came back obviously and saw her again. And I remember sort of after a few minutes, you just got a sense that she was uncomfortable or something. I couldn't figure out why. I just got that feeling, that.
Yeah.
Then I just kind of, but I remember I looked down and I saw, I was wearing these bright blue boxers
Right.
or underpants as they were in those days, and my zip had obviously. I wouldn't have forgotten to pull my zip up. I know that, but it must have just slipped, and she'd obviously seen it. And obviously, when I saw it, oh, geez, I'm really sorry. But she didn't. She just thought, fucking creep.
That was a purposeful move.
Yes. I mean, how do you can't really, because I hardly knew her. If I'd been out for 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, then it's just like, oh.
But it was just a second date. But I know for a fact that she didn't believe me because she was going out with another guy I knew a few years later.
Right.
And he told me I was out with Maureen, whatever it was. Says, I know what your reputation is like.
Oh, really?
So she obviously thought I was fucking trying it on.
Anyone else you tried to ask to the cinema after that was like, no, I'm okay, thanks.
Yes. Go on your own, yeah. But yeah, I mean, because it's sort of not me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all the more awkward about it.
The fact that she actually believed that
it would be that creepy.
A creepy little thing to do,
Oh, such an innocent mistake. And the connotations.
But it also was those, what they called? There was a name for this sort of underpants. They were called. There was a bit where you could pull your willy out.
I don't know.
But there was kind of a gap in.
Yeah.
So just as well my willy wasn't fucking sticking.
Yeah.
But I just remember the bright blue underpants.
It was really obviously your pants sticking out.
Yeah, it was total contrast to whatever colour my trousers were.
Yeah, as if an invitation.
Yeah, exactly.
Had been presented.
There you are, babe. Go for it.
Oh wow! And did you fight? Did she?
Certainly there wasn't a third date. No. I mean, she didn't say, you're a creeper. I can't remember what, but I know there was nothing further. So she obviously didn't.
Yes, it was enough to maybe
put her off a bit. I mean, it was one of the things you kind of feel I should explain more. Saying, look, it really was a mistake. But then you think, well, the more you say, the more it looks like
as if you're defending an action that you didn't even intend. And then you went out and bought new trousers with a button fly. And
we wore trousers back to front anytime I went to the cinema after that.
Did you ever find out what happened to her? I mean, was it someone you kept in
No,
touch with?
no, I never.
But how funny that you ended up knowing someone that she went out with.
Yeah, it was a bloke I went to school with, And I mean, I said to him, I think he could have said, I know what your reputation is like. But no. But then, once again, I couldn't.
Yeah.
No point in trying to.
I always think it's stories like that amuse me more for when they've happened at a young age to people that have then gone on to do things or become a kind of public figure.
Yeah.
That she might have been sitting one day and then you popped up in Father Ted and being like, that Father Stone's the guy that he gets pants out. And everyone's like, no way. And now she's got this kind of story she can tell.
Yeah, and also the fact that I was on the toilet again, so probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking out for my blue underpants.
That's incredible. You've given her a story for life,
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Yes. I never really thought about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that she sort of sees me and telling me that's the creep who brought me to the cinema.
Beautiful. And these are both these stories so far are good because they are things that are regrettable, but again, completely ill-intentioned as well. So you get a sense of your character.
Well, I suppose the first one was, in a way, was slightly intentional.
Yeah.
I did cause it, but
yeah,
the second one was just total accident beyond my control. But
Let's see what you're going to be defending yourself against in the next story. It's like, so a career one, and it can be from at any point in your life, whenever any type of job you've had or whatever.
I leave the actual career one to the last. I think it's the one that sort of
right.
comes
That's
back
the
to
one
me
that
most. Yeah,
we'll build up.
The other one is just a general life. It wasn't long after I came to Glasgow. My ex-girlfriend at the time, she opened up a deli in Highland Street in Partick, and we had 3 kids at the time. They were all quite young, so I was house husband to a large degree, but I used to work in the deli.
Yeah.
Because during the day, because I wasn't really doing much stand-up. I don't think the stand was even open then.
Yeah.
They had the one in Edinburgh, all right, but I don't think the one in Glasgow had opened at that stage. So I wasn't really doing any stand-up, and so I would work in the deli during the day. But I remember it was still Father Ted had been out a few times, and it still was getting recognised. I wasn't stopped in the street loads of times, but if I was in a pub or in a closed space, people might, after a few drinks, say, "Go ahead, you Father Stone, can we have a selfie?" So I was getting a bit of that as time went on. But I remember I was going back to Dublin one day, one time for a mate's wedding.
Right.
I was in when you're going to the boarding bit.
Oh, right, in the gate type of thing.
Yeah, the boarding gate, where you're queuing up to go into the boarding gate. And there was these 2 sort of middle-aged women in front of me, and they were kind of looking around. I thought that they've recognised me from Father Ted. And then after a while, they kind of obviously plucked up and said, "We've been talking, it is you. We weren't sure, but we're fairly sure it is you, isn't it?" And I thought, it is Father Stone. The woman happened to have a phone in her hand, and I said, "Well, do you want a selfie?" This sort of bewildered look on their faces. They were just staring at me like, "It is you who works in the deli, isn't it?" But the worst of it all was that they obviously hadn't seen Father Ted either. So it wasn't like they thought, "Oh, he thinks we want to." They didn't. They obviously hadn't seen Father Ted at all. So why is this fucking idiot who works in a deli asking us, "Do we want a selfie with him?"
This guy must think he's a pretty shit hot sandwich maker. He's top of the game, deli man. Yes, it is I, the deli king.
And I was fucked that she had a phone. Otherwise, I wouldn't normally say, "Do you want a selfie?" I'm not an idiot.
No.
But she had a phone, so I thought, because they looked a bit confused.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to kind of take out the awkwardness out of it.
And do you want a selfie? And just the way they looked at me, and sort of, they just totally bewildered. They didn't know why is he asking.
I wonder if they ever figured it out, or if they just really thought it was like a really random comment.
They might, maybe if they'd seen, Father Ted afterwards, they might think, he thought we recognised him from telly. That's why he was wondering, But at the time, they had no idea, because
I kind of wish that they had said yes and got a selfie with just what they thought was the guy from the deli, and they were showing people, "Look who we met, the deli we like."
It is a thing that because I notice if you're in a pub or something, and you kind of, or a shop, you go to a shop, you recognise the shopkeeper outside, but they wouldn't recognise you because they're seeing loads of people. So.
To be completely honest, I did something quite similar at a Timpson's that was in a Morrison's in Johnston, where the guy was really looking at me. I was taking something in to get fixed, and he was like, I know you. He was like, where did I know you from? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Was it maybe Scott Squad or something? And he was like, no, did you go to Greif High School? It's just someone that recognised me from school.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, oh, now I look like a fud.
Well, yeah, well, that's not like that's not as bad as saying, "Do you want to?"
No, I know. No, I now feel much better about mine.
Yeah.
I've been haunted by.
Well, I know what you mean, though. Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah.
But it is weird that television thing people, because I remember because it wasn't long after I went to London. I was on a train to Manchester. There was this kind of skinhead guy sitting opposite me.
Yeah.
I felt for the whole, it was probably about 3 hours, he was fucking staring at me.
Yeah.
So as he heard my accent, as he clocked me because I'm Irish or something, because I was only recently in London. It was us, when we actually arrived in Manchester, he just went, "Did I see you on television?" Because I'd been on Friday Night Live or something.
Right.
But he'd obviously been mulling this over for 3 hours.
Built up the...
It's weird that sort of thing people have.
Yeah. And because similarly, I really don't get it an awful lot, but if someone does notice you, there is often just that funny look.
Yeah.
And you do think, oh, is it because of that? Or is there something else going on?
It's my
Are my
favourite.
boxers sticking out? But it is awkward. And then funnily enough, I think I've overcompensated for that one time where I was like, oh, was it Scott's Squad maybe? Because we've now moved back to where I basically kind of grew up a wee bit.
All right, yeah.
And my wife's always saying that I never think anyone has recognised me now because of something.
Yeah.
So a few times then people have been looking at me and they're like, do I know you? And I've went, oh, did you go to Greif High School? And I've tried to preempt the...
They say no, Scott's
recognition.
Squad.
And they're like, no. She's like, no, they probably recognised you. And I'm like, I don't know anything. I'm terrified, you know.
Yeah.
I never handle it very well.
But it is a strange thing, yeah. But yeah,
That's
selfie
amazing.
with the guy from the dead.
I wish that photo was out there. It's so good. All right, I feel like we've built up to this one now as well, the relationship one. Take us back to wherever this happened and set the scene.
No, this isn't the relationship one. That was...
Oh, you got another one before? No, sorry, it's the career one we're building up to. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Can't really think of any relationship apart from the underpants.
Yeah, no, that was
kind of a relationship. But
that was plenty. Yes, short-lived.
Yeah, you couldn't really top that for. The career one was. I've all had shit gigs, obviously, in that time, but I hadn't been in London long. I think I'd been in London for about a year, and I was staying in this bedsit in Turnpike Lane, number 21 Whiteman Road. I also remember.
Right,
I remember because of the situation.
Oh wow!
And there was a couple upstairs. He was from Yugoslavia then. I think it was before it had been divided up.
Yeah.
I think she was Welsh. I can't remember. But I kind of used to chat with them now and again, and they knew I was doing stand-up. And got on quite well with them. And I got a really good review in a magazine called Time Out. I think it's still going.
Yeah, I know that.
And they kind of read the review and said, "Oh, we must come along to see you some night." And I kind of, you know, the way you don't want people.
No, never.
You never know. I mean,
No.
and if it goes well, fine. But if it doesn't, then...
Yeah.
And I kind of tried to put them up, but they were fairly insistent anyway. But there was some gig down in South London, and he had a car. He says, "We come to that gig on Saturday night, whatever it was."
Right.
He said, "Well, I've got a car, so we can drive you down if you want." And I thought, this is going...
Now you got to deal with the aftermath as well.
Yeah. So I went to the gig, and obviously I was a bit nervous because I knew it could go wrong. You know?
Yeah.
I'm probably more pessimistic out of than most comedians. I always assume.
Yeah, that's
Even if I've had 10 great gigs, I'm still the 11th one is going to die in my arse.
Yeah.
Maybe this is obviously the 11th gig. And it wasn't just that I died. It was that, you know, sometimes when you can get heckled and it's just isn't going well, but it was just total silence.
Yeah.
And I could hear them, because, you know, when someone goes, they want to be supportive.
Yeah.
There was total silence, but I could just hear them going, trying to be supportive. You can't, though, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it was probably the worst death I've ever had in my life. And I don't know why. It was just, sometimes it's just the room or something. Something happens, you don't know.
Yeah.
Or whatever time you go on, or whoever was on before, or whatever. But I just died totally. And there's that thing of where your mouth goes dry.
Oh, yeah.
You think you can't, they won't understand, but just because you're kind of...
Yeah, and then it's amplifying the...
Yeah, the microphone.
It's horrible. Hope you can all hear that.
And then you bring out, you bring out your best gag, which you think that might pull it back.
That gets
nothing as well, because they're already dead. They're gone anyway. They've decided you're shit. And but then, you know, normally, if somebody comes to your gig, it's bad enough that if you know them, but then you can kind of just go home, but to go back in the car, back with them. And that awkward kind of...
No, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we thought you were good. The rest of them obviously thought you were shit. And it was just excruciating, you know, that it was about 45 minutes back in the car as well, because it was way down in South London.
Yeah.
And I lived in North London, yeah. And I just remember there were times where they just couldn't think of any more to say. It was just silence, sitting in the back. And also, I mean, you couldn't escape from them because they lived in the flat above me, so
You see them then for the rest.
Yeah. They never offered to come for another. Yeah, that's the one that keeps me awake, and I was thinking about that. Drive back,
It's mad to me still, and I'm still trying to convince the people of Kilwinning that there are so many things that can influence a gig going well or not. And when I think back to gigs like Kilwinning, but there's been plenty of gigs where I've had terrible, terrible deaths. And the thing that sticks with me is, those people all go away thinking that he's rubbish.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
And even if you've done the exact same material the night before in another room, and they'll be like, we saw him and he was quite good, and now you can never change the people's minds that have seen you when you were shit. They'll be like, we saw him and he was shit, and you're like, no, it was the timing, it was the room, it was the lights, it was partly the host in Kilwinning, I'll tell you that much. But there was a lot. There's so many different factors that you can't even describe. It's just a thing that happens.
It is a weird thing. I mean, someone should do a thesis on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are just not good for some reason. Yeah. But there are, as you say, you can the night before you can storm it with the exact same material.
But I don't think I've ever. Maybe I have once, but certainly starting out, you really don't want people to come and see you.
No,
but the idea of having to get a lift back with people after a gig, because
that was the worst.
When you have a bad gig, you just want to crawl up and you want to be by yourself.
Yeah. Maybe the fact that I knew I was going back with them, that in my head, I'm going to die here.
The gig and
I'm going to die. Maybe I was overthinking it, even trying too hard or something.
Was it a tough gig anyway, though? Like,
no, I don't. That's even it. No. Like everybody else went fine. Yeah, I mean, if it'd been kind of a really rough night, there was loads of pissheads. You could have explained, well, there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was just a pure death.
That's the worst thing, because if you have a bad gig sometimes and then you leave, I'll text other acts and be like, how did the rest of the night go? Because you're hoping they'll go, it was tough. But I actually really picked up. I always remember a night at Glasgow Jongleurs where it felt like everyone was dying, and I was just doing an open spot, 10 minutes. It was just classic old Jongleurs, just drunken and loud, and everyone was like, God, it's virtually unplayable. But Jeff Innocent was headlining it, and he went on and he just stormed it. He just got the crowd on side, and he was ripping it apart. And then on stage, he was going, everyone's backstage talking about how difficult you are. They're fucking useless, aren't they? This is fucking great. And we were like, oh, no.
He shouldn't say that, so that's...
But, it was kind of... He did it in a kind of... Even that was kind of... He did it in a funny way rather than slagging us off. But we were like... You can't play this gig, it's tough,
Yeah.
He ripped it.
Stormed it, yeah.
God.
But you wonder, what is it that sort of turns it, and he just obviously hits a certain spot that the audience like or something.
It's so bizarre, and it always amazes me that sometimes comedy in a non-comedy atmosphere or environment, people, corporate gigs or someone that has decided that they'll have a comedian at a works do or something, and
I've done a couple
they're
of
like,
them.
we just thought it'd be great to have a comedian. Because people do think, you can just stand up and start, but you really need all these other things.
Yeah, people think you're being a bit precious, kind of like,
Yeah,
That's why I think I haven't done the stand here, but I think that's why the old stand worked so well, because the setup was just so perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
The stage was in the right place and the bar was far away, and where everybody was seated, they were totally facing you. There was no people whose views were blocked or, would get distracted by something else.
Yeah, something Tommy had said about you could squeeze in over 200 people, but nobody was more than 30 metres away from the stage.
They could all see
incredible.
Yeah. It was the perfect setup, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so if everyone could just replicate that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
In Kilwinning Scouts Hall.
Kilwinning Scouts.
That would really help in the future.
Yeah, I think people don't understand that the atmosphere needs to be...
Yeah. But it
does sound precious, but it is true.
I know. And it's kind of... I think it's... Most comics, I feel like, are quite insecure. And as you say, you kind of go into thinking this could be bad. And the best thing that someone told me was Stephen Dick. When I was starting out, I always remember him saying, if your friends or anyone says, I'll come and see you doing a gig, you should always say, no, come and see me do 3 gigs. Because one will be shit, one will be great, and one will just be indifferent. Because it really changes all the time.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But can you say to somebody, you must come and see me 3 times?
Yeah.
Particularly
You
the
three
first-
shiters, you're like,
particularly
oh shit.
Particularly if you die the first time, they're going to
Yeah.
they're going to persist.
Really puts the pressure on the next ones. No, it's such a
But yes,
bizarre.
but people think that they're being well, they are in their head being supportive, but from your viewpoint, they think no, please don't come. Yeah.
I still think a lot about. I'm doing a fringe show this year. Oh, a wee subtle plug there.
Come to it; he's very funny.
But it's a Christmas show, and I did it in here in March at Glasgow for anyone that might have seen it. But because I was just starting to work it up last August, I did kind of 6 whips at the fringe. The first day there was, I wanted to say 8, but there might have been 6 people there.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I'd ever really done it. I was wearing, it's August and I've got a Santa hat on and a Christmas jumper.
Made a big effort as well.
And I kind of went for it, but I was so unsure about the show and that thing about the mic and the dry mouth. And I was like, I was looking at my notes and I was dropping them. And I constantly think about those 6 people. That they go, oh, that was so shit. Like, is he doing that show again next year? But and every day it got a bit better, and by the end of it, I was like, oh, I wish those 6 people knew that.
Now I know,
like that was a useful show, even though it looked like I was having a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, I mean it's horrible. I remember the first time I died in London, and I literally wouldn't go out of my bedsit for 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid I was going to meet the people or see them that were at the gig. And even though I wasn't even near where I lived, I was still paranoid that one of them was going to see me. It's a horrible feeling.
It's good.
I mean, you do get over that a bit after a while, but you still never totally get over it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's still
That's not good to know. These have all been great stories, so thank you for sharing them.
It's been a pleasure. Really.
Have you got anything else in particular coming up, or any secret projects that you
I
can?
haven't got any secret projects, I'm afraid. Nothing to plug at all, I'm afraid.
No, it's fine.
I'm just
It's
sitting
in
hoping
case.
I was hoping there'd be a second season of How to Get to Heaven in Belfast, and
That'd be
also
great.
that I'll be in it, because there's no guarantee
Yeah,
that you would be,
Yeah, I was really hoping for that junky scumbag to come back. Department Q, but no such luck.
I think so, no.
No. But no, just brilliant to have you on. So
It's been a pleasure. No?
thanks very much, and thanks to listeners and the people that watch it as well. Thanks
Thank
to
you for coming.
our patrons. Thanks to Big Sean,
Thank you, Sean.
Stables, Chris Thorburn, and of course the Stand Comedy Club, who the podcast in his association with. And also one last big plug as well for Derek Gerard Photography, who's sponsoring this week's episode. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well done, Derek.